Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Today's episode's gonna be our week two game picks, our confidence levels. Lance got the edge on me last week. We'll see how this week goes. But before we get into that, how you feeling this week, Lance? You guys got the Chiefs. Are you feeling okay?
I think it's too soon to know. It's going to be an interesting matchup, but Travis Kelce did us a huge favor last week. So
I mean, I was kind of impressed in a way that he took full responsibility. Not saying, oh, accidents happen, but no, he took full responsibility that he should not have done that. He's a 13-year veteran. That's on him. And that Xavier Worthy is injured because he didn't do the play right. So I kind of was impressed by that.
I was looking back at that play. Was he trying to chip his corner? Like,
I
was that
think
his
so.
hope? And he just,
I think he was trying to chip the corner and he just made a bad angle and didn't get around Worthy in time.
yeah, I mean, that is so weird. I mean, he was coming so
Yeah.
fast to me, it feels like he was on a mission.
hmm
Like he was going
hmm
for somebody and it just went completely the wrong way and was friendly fire.
Yeah,
So,
that's totally a Chiefs play to do those crossing routes to kind of chip and pick the other cornerback. And if Xavier Worthy in man coverage has his corner chipped a little bit, he could be gone
yeah.
with that speed because everyone else is in man coverage running with someone else. It's going to be hard for them to catch him. So it's a smart play. It just that, yeah, Travis Kelce, bad angle.
Yeah, I agree with you. Um, it's pretty interesting. So we'll just have to see how things work out. But it's uh
hmm
it's going to be an interesting week. So I'm excited to get to it. But yeah, it's good, Andrew. I mean, it's crazy. Week one, I mean, I went 12-4, which it's pretty good, right? It's a solid
That's
3-4
for
ratio.
especially in week one, because week one usually has some strange stuff. And I would say overall, as at least the winners of week one, not necessarily how the games went, but the winners of week one wasn't like a whoa, I didn't expect that. I was like, okay. Like I went with a little more on the I was expecting more whoa kind of games, like, well, they won. But overall, I mean, outside of maybe a couple games like the Dolphins and Colts. That was like a whoa, I didn't expect the Colts to play that well. Everything else was like, okay, that was competitive. I wouldn't have thought they would have won that game, but I'm not like shocked because usually like a Bengals loss in week one against the Patriots. Something like that happens week one usually, but this week it didn't have that much.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Um, I'm looking at a couple of my final picks. There's a couple I've been on the fence this entire week, and it's been
Yeah.
tough, man. It's This week is really tough. For me, it was harder than week one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, what I did with mine is I just went through. I was like, okay, let me get my obvious. Well, my to me my obvious ones.
yeah,
Then there's like four or five. I was like, okay, let's look at these for a little bit, and then I felt decent about it. So we'll see how it looks. There's probably going to be a few that we differ on again, and yeah, especially the Thursday night football game. That was the hardest one for me, and that might be a great segue to get right into this.
yeah. Let's do it. I mean, let's get right to the game. I mean,
Yeah,
by the way, what a win for Thursday night football. This is a strong
phenomenal.
matchup. Yeah,
Yeah.
strong matchup.
Yeah, so yeah, I looked at this, I was thinking, man, okay. Commanders, Packers, both got a good win. Both had some moments where like, okay, it's week one. They're not quite in sync yet, but overall you can see the talent on both teams. For the Commanders, Debo Samuel showed that he still has it when he's healthy. He's great out there. He had that great end around for the Commanders to kind of pull away from the Giants because the Giants were just hanging in there. They weren't like folding and they weren't just lying down ready to die. They were being competitive, and that end around touchdown was what kind of put them over the top of them. For the Packers, their defense just shut down the lines pretty much all game long, and that's with Micah Parsons only playing probably like what was like 40% of the snaps, something like that,
Mm.
30% of the snaps. And their offense, they clicked for a few drives. Other drives, they look kind of spotty here and there, which is kind of what the Packers offense does, you know. Jordan Love has been inconsistent in his career, but that defense was very impressive. So I was looking at this, I was like, man, I don't know. So my confidence level on this was my one. It was my one. I just this was like a coin flip, and it's at Lambeau, but I can't pick the Packers. I'm going Commanders, baby. I'm going Commanders to get this win, but it's a
Mm.
confidence level of one.
So I went Packers, and the only reason, Andrew, that I went with a confidence level of 5 out of 16 was not because of this game. It was because of the other games that
Other games, that's fair.
I, well,
Yeah.
I mean, man, you know what the Packers game on Sunday reminded me of? And I didn't mention
Hmm.
this in our last episode. It reminded me of that Eagles Vikings game from a few years ago when Jalen Hurts kind of had his
Hmm.
coming out party. Like it just had
Hmm.
that kind of like that feeling of, man, there's more. There might be more here.
Hmm.
That's the way I left with the game. I mean, I know that we talked about offensive notes to kind of compare and contrast, but to beat up your division opponent, the previous division winner, by two
Hmm.
touchdowns, and for most of the game, multiple touchdowns, it's just crazy. I mean, so it could go one of two ways. I could see the Packers continuing on this steam train, or they come in and get smacked around by the Commanders and realize, oh,
Hmm.
maybe we're not as good as we thought we were. And yeah, I went Packers. I couldn't pick against them. Um, Commanders also had a little trouble against the Giants in week one. Let's see if that carries over.
Yeah.
Um, so tough
Yeah.
to say at this point, but so I went
Yeah.
five.
And the point I made in our last episode was that could have been pick six that Jordan Love threw. I watched the play this
Yes.
morning, and the ball was underthrown because he was throwing off his back foot with a sidearm, which is what he does. Man, every time I watch Jordan Love, he has all the talent in the world, but he doesn't throw the ball with mechanics often enough for me to feel confident he's going to be a superstar in this league. Maybe it's just me, but there are times when he does that where he's getting pressure, and instead of stepping up or avoiding the pressure, then setting his feet and throwing, he just kind of backs up, throws off his back foot, sidearm it, and he's got the talent to do that, absolutely. But eventually, like it happened on Sunday, that ball is not going to be accurate, and they just kind of. I don't want to say they lucked out because penalties are penalties, and it was a penalty, but there was just a penalty on the play, and that took away that pick six. And that pick six happened when it was 17-6 Packers. And so if that pick six goes and they get a 2 point conversion, it's 17-14, and it's a
Right.
whole new ball game. So
Right.
that's just I just can't get to that point with Jordan Love until I see it consistently that he is throwing with mechanics and he's not making those just who knows YOLO passes, because
Hmm.
those who knows YOLO passes can really end the game for you. As when he's first 2 years in the league, that's it happens at the quarterback. But this is like his third or fourth year. I just need to see consistency before I believe that that offense can truly get to the next level.
Right.
But I can totally hear where you're coming from with picking the Packers. Overall, I do believe they are a better team than the Commanders, but I can't pick the Packers. I can't do it.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
All right.
Um,
So that was the Thursday night game.
mhm.
Now let's jump into the Sunday day games. Let's go Jaguars and Bengals next. This is probably one of those easier confidence ones, at least you would think. So I was looking at this game. This is one of those ones where I picked the Bengals right off the bat,
Mhm.
pretty much. Then I just went on and picked the rest of the teams, and I was looking at my confidence level. I was like, the Jaguars look pretty good. And I don't believe in the Bengals offensive line at all. It's like one of the probably worst 8 units in the NFL. But the Jaguars don't really have a legit pass rush. Their defense is just okay pretty much across the board. They got pieces here, pieces there. Travis Hunter is probably going to play more defense, but I mean, Joe Burrow can pick apart any secondary. It's just if he has time. And the Jaguars don't really do that. Offensively, I like what the Jaguars did, and they're going against a defense that Joe Flacco kind of picked apart. So I think this is going to be kind of a higher scoring game. But I got the Bengals winning. I put my confidence level as about a 10. I did want to go higher than that. I had like an
Mhm.
8. I had it at a 9, but there are other games that I had less confidence in. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put it at a 10 because I would not be surprised if the Jaguars snuck this out because they look pretty good week one. But the Bengals are the better team. Joe Burrow to me is like probably like the second best quarterback in the league. So confidence 10 for me. I got the Bengals.
See, this is what I was talking about because I have the Jaguars winning.
Oh,
I
okay.
went back and forth. I don't love the upset on the like. Oh, the Bengals defense is just so bad. It's so
Yeah.
bad that I
Yeah. They should have
just
lost week one. I mean,
yeah,
the
they
Browns
really
kicker
should have.
missed an extra point and a field goal.
And so it just I look at that for this matchup and
Hmm.
I really feel like the Jaguars defense is going to let it down again. Um, it Here's the thing: if it comes to a shootout, like really a true shootout where Joe Burrow is doing everything he wants to, then the advantage is to the Bengals because I don't think
Hmm.
that Trevor Lawrence is as good as Joe Burrow. Like I don't think they're comparable. Like even week
Absolutely.
one, I think Trevor Lawrence was okay. He was okay. He
He was
he
fine.
made
Yeah.
good decisions. He didn't do anything dumb. But it's also hard because like I watched that week one game for Joe Burrow and I know it's the Browns defense, but I left disappointed in Joe Burrow. Like I didn't feel like Joe Burrow was on his best game. So I
Yeah.
started to think about it, and that's the angle I came from was it's an early matchup. Zach Taylor's teams are notorious for not being ready early. I feel like this
Mhm.
could kind of be a slight trap game for Cincinnati, where they already
Yeah.
have a few issues. So anyway, I went with the confidence of one because that's how confident I am in this pick.
Yeah.
But I I don't know, man. I've got alert on my mind for this one, or no, or
That's
upset
fair.
alert. So
That's fair. I kind of looked at into it with just the pass rush in mind. And the
mhm.
Jaguars, they got a couple guys. They have he's changed his name like Hines Allen, and I don't know
Oh
what his
yeah,
name is anymore.
yeah.
Um, but
But Josh
he's
Allen.
really good. Yeah, 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 yeah. But outside of that, they've tried a early draft pick here and there, and it's just not been great. And their defense overall is fine. It's their I don't think they're comparable to the Browns defense. The Browns defense has above average. I would say the Jaguars have a below average. That's kind of what I would compare it to. And this is at home for Cincinnati. If this was at Jacksonville, I'd probably right there with you. But this is at Cincinnati, and I'm going into this thinking that next week the Bengals play a ferocious pass rush with a blitzing Brian Flores.
Mhm.
So I don't want them to lose back to back because they're going to lose in week three, baby.
So it was selfishly motivated, is what you're telling me. You were
In a
motivated
way,
by,
in a way.
well,
Um,
I mean, yeah, you could be right, man. I just this is one of my upsets. This is one of my
okay,
upsets. I
okay.
yeah.
I got a
So
couple of those. I have one that I honestly believe you have as well. Well, and we'll get to that. I'm just going on, just a list here on ESPN 11 o'clock games. So next game is on here is Giants at Cowboys. This was one of those where I thought about it for a couple minutes and I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick the winner. Then I'll leave it alone and come back and move around the confidence level. But as of right now, Dayball still has Russell Wilson starting, and that's all I needed to know.
mhm,
Cowboys at home, they're going to get the win. They looked good against the Eagles. They weren't perfect, and I mean, CeeDee Lamb's got to catch the pass, got to catch the ball,
right.
but they looked good. I was impressed. I was impressed. They weren't the better team. Eagles were the better team, but they came to play. They came ready. And in this one, the Cowboys are the better team. And strength against strength is in the trenches. The Giants' D line is their strength, but honestly, the Cowboys' offensive line is also their strength. So I don't think that Dak Prescott's going to get a ton of pressure. I think he's going to get pressure, but I think he's going to have enough time to be able to dip down the field against the Giants' probably weakness in their defense, which is their secondary. So I got the Cowboys winning this game. Giants will make it sort of competitive, but with Russell Wilson out there, I mean, he'll look better than he did in week one, but it's still not going to be that great. I got a confidence level of 11 in this.
Um, I'm also on the Cowboys. I went with 16. I just
Okay.
uh and
You
I
really
but
don't like the Giants.
I just that week one game was so bad. And if they're really
Hmm.
insistent on Russell Wilson being the starter, I did read an interesting piece. Ben Solak from ESPN. He
Hmm.
went with his first week thoughts, and his thoughts were that the Giants' offensive line is so bad, don't put
Yeah.
Dart behind there because you're going to ruin his confidence.
Yeah.
And here's my only thought process problem with that. If I'm told that as the owner by Dayball, my thought's going to be, well, why are you still here?
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, goodbye, Dayball.
What are you here for? Because if you're
Hmm.
telling me he's not ready and you're not going to do anything to help him get ready, you shouldn't be here.
Hmm.
But that's not the way the Giants think. That's not the way the Giants have operated. They have kept a coaching staff and GM in place past their they
Yeah.
they are curdling if they were milk in the fridge right now. Like they are well past their expiration date. But
Hmm.
um, also Brian Schottenheimer, very
Yeah.
composed. He looks for real. And so I just think when I look at coaching staffs, I give the advantage to the Giant or to the Cowboys. When I look at receiving
Hmm.
core, when I look at running backs, I mean running backs, I think is probably a draw, but quarterback for sure, Cowboys are better.
Hmm.
Defense, I'd say is excluding the defensive line goes to the Cowboys. I think that the defensive line portion, even still, I think the defensive line still they're still figuring out their footing together, and I don't think that they are at that full potential point. So it's just a lot of moving factors here, but
Hmm.
um, I just it's also because of matchups. But yeah, Cowboys 16. That's
Hmm.
my confidence.
Okay. I like it. Oh, I can't wait till we get to this one. That one's going to be fun. But next we have Bears at Lions. This was one of the ones that I skipped for a while and came back to because just how that's how bad the Lions looked. And so I picked my the rest of my teams that I wanted to pick. Then I came back to this. And I was okay. Let me look at this a little bit deeper. It's at Detroit, which I think is really big. Ben Johnson going back home, going back to his old stomping grounds. I don't know. I just don't really believe in Caleb Williams yet. I think it's going to take some time with Ben Johnson. Can
Yeah,
he get there? Sure, he can get there because he's got all the talent in the world, but he's not really reading the field all that well yet. And then whenever he is kind of rushed or he's getting pressured or he's like not in rhythm, his passes sail a little bit. There was one pass against the Vikings that he could have easily hit DJ Moore for a walk-in touchdown on the left
yeah,
sideline.
I
And
remember that.
instead, he waited, and then it's like, oh, he's open. And he threw it, and it was way too high out of bounds. If he hits that in stride, that's a touchdown. The Bears have a great chance to still win that game. But he was pressured. He wasn't in rhythm. He wasn't confident, and that ball sailed. The Lions, they don't have their coordinators. They're not really sticking. But overall, if you look at the numbers, Jared Goff wasn't bad. He threw that one bad pick because Micah
No,
Parsons rushed him and he rushed his pass, but it wasn't awful. He's still a really good quarterback that knows how to read defenses. So I'm gonna go with the Lions here. I wasn't super confident because I think the Bears are coming. They are going to be something eventually, and I think they're going to show something. Ben Johnson's going to show something to his old coaching staff. He's gonna throw all those trick plays out there. You know he is. But the Lions are at home. They're the better overall team still, but I went with a confidence level of 5. I'm not really confident because of how bad the Lions were overall. The Bears were bad for a quarter. 3 quarters, they look good. The Lions look bad for most of that game, but I'm going Lions, confidence of 5.
I went with confidence 6. That's the only difference. So we see
Right
this game
there.
pretty similarly.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Probably not much more needs to be said about this one, huh?
Nope, nope. I think you're
All
spot
right.
on, man.
Okay. Next up, this is all right. We got Rams at Titans. Cam Ward against that might be best defensive line in football. Um, so Cam Ward actually looked decent against the Broncos. He did his best, but he didn't have time. His receivers weren't getting open. But as far as an individual player, Cam Ward looked okay. He looked like he could actually do it in this league eventually. Probably won't be this year because he doesn't have a lot around him. And the Titans' offensive line is bad. It might be worse than the Bengals. It's close. They're comparable, and they're going against the Rams defensive line, which is better than the Broncos. Broncos D line is good, but the Rams defense line is elite. I don't know if Cam Ward is going to be able to have even 3 seconds to throw the ball on Sunday. I got the Rams winning this game. Matthew Stafford, he got hit. He got hit a little bit against the Texans. Texans have a great defense. Titans not so much. And I don't think this is going to be particularly close. I think the Rams are going to be able to get things moving, be in rhythm, shut down Cam Ward. I got this as
Mm,
a confidence level of 14.
okay. Um, I went with the Rams too. I went with slightly less confident, or I went with a 7. And the reason I went
Okay.
with 7 is because it just hinges on Matt Stafford. If Matt Stafford has a freak injury accident, or if the injury flares up,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so different. And I feel like
Absolutely.
he didn't look to me in week 1 like he was really himself. I felt like he
Absolutely.
was out there like with duct tape and hey, I'm here, I'm
Hmm.
gonna make it work. But I didn't feel like I don't know, there's some throws that I thought he's not making that throw at full capacity.
Hmm.
And so I still think they'll win. I think the Rams are the better team. I just wonder about that part. But I do
Oh
have the
yeah.
Rams also winning.
Oh yeah, that is going to flare up eventually in this season. Absolutely. And it kind of did against the really good Texas defense. I just don't think the Titans defense is one that's
And
really
that's
going to
fair.
get to him.
Yeah,
I think he'll be fine. And they can just run the ball like 30 times this game and they're
this
totally
is true.
fine.
Yeah,
But I do hear what you're saying. That is going to be a factor eventually this year. And I don't know if they make the playoffs because of that. They are a really good team, but without Matt Stafford, uh, they're not a playoff team. I'm just going to say it. And that could be a thing. I'm not going to predict it. You don't want to predict injuries, but I hear you. That is very concerning. Okay, so next game here on this little list is Patriots at Dolphins. This is another one that I just kind of skipped and then moved on, looked at other games, and came back to it. I have this as a confidence level of 3 because
okay.
this is like a coin flip game because the Patriots look like they had some promise, but they have some things to work on still. They have things to work on. They're not quite a well-oiled machine just yet. And the Dolphins looked terrible, but they probably overall, especially in offense, have more talent. But I was thinking, man, where do I go here? But overall, I went with the coaching staff. I don't believe in Mike McDaniel. I believe in Mike Vrabel. So I went with the Patriots, but a confidence level of 3.
Yeah, and I also went the Patriots. I went 8, which is probably a little
Okay.
high. Um,
Okay.
I think the Dolphins are a dumpster fire. I
Yeah,
think that
they are.
it would take a really strong showing against the Patriots for me to think, you know what, maybe they're better than I thought they were.
Hmm.
I don't believe it, man. I feel like that the Dolphins and Giants, there were warning signs. There were warning signs to not bring back the same
Hmm.
teams. And both ownerships were like, ah, forget it. We're just gonna run it back.
Hmm.
And like honestly, we talked about this before, but what moves did the Dolphins make that would make me think, oh, this team's a legit contender? I mean, you can't say Minka Fitzpatrick. It's not enough. That's not enough to take your team from where
Hmm.
you were to where you need to get. That Darren Waller, I mean, did he
And he's
even
probably
do
not going to play.
anything in
He
week
was
one?
hurt. He didn't play. He was hurt. He got hurt before the game.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so what's the, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out on the Dolphins. Just
I,
truly,
I
I
hear
am.
you. If this was most other teams, I'd be right there with you with high confidence rating. It's just the Patriots. They looked like they were okay for a couple quarters, then they just weren't ready for a couple quarters. And it was against the Raiders who were up and coming, but it wasn't like it was against the Bills. It
No.
was so I mean, I need to see more from them as well. They are up and coming. The Dolphins are on the downward trajectory, absolutely. But as far as talent, I think the Dolphins probably have more talent, and
Mm,
sometimes talent wins out. But coaching staff is a very important factor too. So I'm going
yeah,
coaching staff. So
totally
yeah,
fair. Yeah.
right there with you. Okay. Oh, I was really looking forward to this one. I have a feeling we might be lockstep on this one for a couple of reasons, but 49ers at
hmm
Saints.
hmm
I can see by the look in your eye that you're kind of the similar way. So the 49ers, they looked okay against the Seahawks, honestly. They moved the ball. They didn't look like beautiful. They didn't like in midseason form or anything like that, but they look good enough. The Seahawks are a talented team. They have a good defense. And they're moving some pieces around the offense. But the 49ers have their two biggest players injured. George Kittle going to be out for at least 4 weeks. Brock Purdy isn't officially out, but it's highly unlikely he's going to play this game. And then they have Mac Jones as their backup. Now, the Kyle Shanahan offense has had guys look pretty good in it before, like Sam Darnold that 1 week looked
hmm
pretty good and just the garbage game because it didn't matter for the two teams. He's had Jimmy Garoppolo look pretty good in it, but that was with really good offensive pass catchers. They don't have Ayuk. They don't have Kittle. Juwan Jennings is also dinged up. I don't know if he's going to play. Ricky
Yeah.
Pearsall's good, but he's young. He's not quite all the way there yet. I forgot who they signed. They signed a receiver. I forgot who it was.
Oh yeah.
Man, I can't remember who that was. But that kind of goes to show you we don't really remember his name. He's not like an
Was that?
extreme high quality receiver.
Yeah, it was Bjorn. It's Kendrick Bjorn. That's who it was.
Okay. Okay. Which he maybe he'll do something, but it's his first game with that system. He's probably not gonna really know all the scheme, all the plays. And the Saints looked pretty good against the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals aren't an amazing team, but they're above average probably in every aspect of the game. And the Saints honestly should have tied that game. Juwan Johnson dropped a pass in the end zone to tie it, and who knows what happened. And Spencer Rattler looked fine. So I got the Saints winning at home, but I got a confidence level of 2 because the 49ers are still the better team. If Brock Purdy was playing, I'd go 49ers, but it's Mac Jones. I don't know what we're getting out of him. So I got the Saints at home winning, confidence level of 2.
Yeah, I've got the Saints winning confidence level 3. I think that's crazy. We both picked the Saints.
I thought that was going to happen because we've talked in the past that we're not really 49ers believers and
uh,
then just waiting for a reason to not pick them and Brock Purdy being out, boom.
I just don't see how they do it. That is such a big hill to
Hmm.
overcome. And
Hmm.
I don't know, the Saints might be like Kellen Moore brought his team to play in week one.
He did. It was impressive.
He
Yeah,
brought them to play. And I mean, I followed that whole game, and um, the Cardinals really had to fight for it. They
they did.
really had to work for it. And
Hmm.
that took me by surprise because I really thought that the Cardinals were going to just roll them. That's what I expected to happen. I thought Spencer Rattler is going to be, 3 interceptions type game, maybe a
Hmm.
fumble, and that's not what they did. They stayed consistent the whole time, and they just didn't make enough plays to win. And now you've got in my mind an even easier matchup. You're not dealing with Trey McBride. You're not dealing with George Kittle.
Hmm.
You're also not dealing with a first string quarterback. So, yeah, I
Yep.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I had the Cardinals defense in a lot of fantasy leagues. So I was right there with it. It's like, okay, Spencer Rattler's at least can give up the rock 1 or 2 times. Nope. And only sacked him once. It was impressive. It was
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
All right, the next game is Bills at Jets. So this one was one of those easy ones. I just clicked and moved on. And honestly, I kind of had the confidence level really quick as well. Bills are one of the top 3 teams in this league, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this league. I know it's at New York, and the Jets looked very competitive, and their offense was clicking against the Steelers. And Justin Fields looked really good, very accurate, very confident throwing the ball. Garrett Wilson looked good as well. The run game was good, but I just don't think the Steelers came to play, at least defensively. Their defense
Mhm.
looked bad, and that's kind of strange. I don't think that's what their defense is. I think the Steelers defense is good. I just don't think they came to play that game. The Bills defense isn't as good as the Steelers, but this team, this team is so confident. They are ready to play. Josh Allen's going to probably pick that Jets defense apart. I got the Bills winning this game, confidence level of 15.
I went Bills confidence level of 10. The only concern I have is the Bills defense. Um, I
Yeah.
If we see the fourth quarter Bills defense, then they could be in store for a great game. And if they don't, then we could see
Mm-hmm.
another shootout, another AFC East shootout, which is like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Would be weird to see three teams in the AFC East having shootouts with each other because I don't think anybody predicted any of that to happen. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, agree with you.
Yeah. And like my logic for confidence level with that game and then another game you'll see is just best overall team against a team that's not really there yet. But next game we have is Seahawks at Steelers. This is one I had to kind of push to the side and come back to a little bit because I don't fully buy into the Steelers just yet.
Hmm.
They played a Jets team that played really well, but I don't think the Jets team is like an elite talented team. They're just feisty. But I just don't know about the Seahawks, man. I don't know this that offense. They have a good defense, but I don't think Sam Darnold has enough around him. Jason's awesome. He's phenomenal, but outside of him, Cooper Kupp looked cooked. The offensive line isn't great. They tried to run the ball a lot and they didn't have a lot of success. And this was against the 49ers defense. That's fine, but I don't think anyone thinks it's like elite anymore because they lost a lot of guys. And it's at Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be kind of close,
Hmm.
competitive. But I got the Steelers win this game. I have it at a confidence level of 6.
Yeah, I also would Steelers confidence level 9, and it's not really because of the Steelers. I watched the end of game sequence with the Seahawks and 49ers,
Mm-hmm.
and the Seahawks, they should have won. I mean, really,
Mm-hmm.
they were JSN catches a ball and almost goes for a touchdown, and gets pulled up short just to, maybe 10 or so yards away from the end zone. But
Mm-hmm.
then the Seahawks did Seahawks things. Their right tackle did a horrible job protecting.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's Bosa. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but
Well, they have
he
JJ. They have not
just,
JJ Watt, but they have Watt this game. So.
and that's going to make it even tougher.
Mm-hmm.
But it was twofold. I looked at the block and I was like, wow, that was a horrible rep. But then I also looked at it and thought, wow, Darnold fumbled the ball. Like you can't,
Yeah.
you got to be better than that. You have to be on top of things. And I know it's hard. I just feel like that, there's some quarterbacks that can do a lot on their own. They don't need a lot. They
Mm-hmm.
can self-propel. I don't consider that to be Sam Darnold. Sam
I
Darnold needs a
agree.
lot in order to make things work right.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I
Sorry
agree.
to my friend Xander. I know that'll make you sad if you hear that, but I'm sorry, man. I can't pick with the Seahawks in this game. So
Oh no. Yeah. I agree with you. If Darnold has a good O line, then Seahawks could be something this year because JSN's awesome. He
he
is
is.
borderline elite receiver, and that's
Yeah,
not
totally.
hyperbole. He's good, but they don't have an O line, and Sam Darnold needs time to be able to know what he's doing. He's got great talent. Arm talent is top notch, but it's his mental reading things that's not quite there, at least speed wise, and doesn't have the time. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Next game was my confidence level of 16.
Okay.
Browns at Ravens.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, because I mean, the Ravens should have won that game. We all know that they should have won that game. They didn't make the plays though. Got to give the Bills credit, and you got to give some blame on the Ravens. Fumble, can't fumble the ball. You got to get a first down. We needed a first down, and they just didn't do it. But the Browns, Joe Flacco, they put up 16 points against the Bengals defense.
Mm, that's a fair point.
And the Ravens have talent all across the board defense. They didn't stop Josh Allen, but ask someone to stop Josh Allen and see what happens. It's nearly impossible. But the Ravens defense is one of the most talented, at least, defenses in this league. And the Browns offense is just Joe Flacco throwing to Fannin Jr. and Njoku and Cedric Tillman. They're just guys. They're not anyone that's going to keep you up at night. And their run game isn't there yet either because their second round pick is just now getting signed and practicing. And then the Browns defense is good, but Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are impossible to stop as a duo. I got the Ravens winning, confidence level 16.
I went Ravens confidence level 11. The only thing that stops me on that one is that is a rivalry that's still legit. There have been
Yep.
games over the years that the Browns have stolen from the Ravens. The Giants
Hmm.
haven't stolen games from the Cowboys. It's been a long time. So
Hmm.
I also feel like that Joe Flacco is the new Ryan Fitzpatrick. He just has games where you're like,
Okay.
where did
Okay.
that come from? I didn't expect a three
Hmm.
touchdown show. And I feel
Hmm.
like he just has just enough juice left to be able to do that, not to be a playoff team, but to steal
Hmm.
games. So I went with the confidence level 11. I still like the Ravens, but things that concern me, that defense of the Ravens, man, goodness, that was a really bad week one showing. You could have
Yeah.
shut the door and you didn't. You didn't shut the door. And man, that loss against the Bills, I think though it could fuel them and make them play better this game. So that's why I put them at 11. I
That as
think
well. Yeah,
they'll,
because they can't go 0-2. If they go 0-2, they're in trouble because
yeah,
they play a first place schedule. They have a lot of tough games on their schedule. They cannot go 0-2. Losing the
yeah,
Bills, that's tough. You should have won, but you're not like, how did we lose to the Bills kind of thing. If you lose to the Browns
no,
at home, you
yes.
got problems.
Well, the part I'm just thinking about in my head is that game is probably going to come down to one or two seeding. I gotta
For
imagine.
sure. Yep, for
And
sure. Bills have the just they have an end to get the first round bye right now. They are
yeah,
leading favorites because of that win.
yeah, definitely.
All right, now we're going to get into the 2 o'clock games. We have Broncos at Colts. This is a game
Uh,
of who are you really? Because on the
yeah,
Broncos side, their defense looked good, but their offense, they sputtered here and there. So who are you, Broncos offense? Who are you, Bo Nix? And on the Colts side, they look like a Super Bowl caliber team. Everything they did was phenomenal, but was that because the Dolphins are imploding, or is that because the Colts are really good? This is who are you? But I went with the more talented team. I went with the Broncos. I gave this kind of mid-pack confidence level of 9 because I just need to see more from the Colts to believe in them yet. It could have been we played a bad team and they weren't prepared. And on the Broncos, they could have just not been ready offensively to quite be clicking as well as they should have been. And I still believe that the Broncos are kind of a low key playoff team. I don't think they're a legit contender. I think Bo Nix still needs another year or two, but they're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be a tough out. That's my opinion. They got talent all across the board. I love their defense, and I just need to see another game from Daniel Jones. And now he's going against a really tough defense, and we know what Daniel Jones does. He has a tendency to do at least. Has he
hmm.
turned the corner? Maybe, but I doubt it. So I'm going Broncos confidence level 9.
I went with Broncos confidence level 4.
Okay.
Um, and my concern is that uh, I just want to make sure I get these stats right. Yeah, he had two interceptions against the Titans.
He did. He did.
That is not good. It's really
Nope.
not good. I mean, that was a matchup that favored Bo Nix, and Bo Nix did not show
Mm-hmm.
up.
I agree.
Um, and so he's young. He's really young. He has a lot to learn. So, it could have just been a bad week for him. Maybe he rebounds and plays
Mm-hmm.
even better. Um, But I went with the Broncos. I'm not sure about this one, man. I'm still in my head flip-flopping. I'll honor my pick of the Broncos, but
Hmm.
I only have them at 4 because of who's like, who I picked previously in terms of my other confidence picks. I picked the Jaguars. I'll tell you my number 2 here in a minute. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
we'll see how this works out.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting game. We don't truly know what those teams are just yet.
No, no idea.
Yep. All right, next 2 o'clock game on this list is Panthers at Cardinals. So this was one that I picked the winner pretty quickly, but my confidence level I wasn't sure on because on the Panther side they did not look good
Mm,
and they didn't play like a legit contender. The Jaguars could be something this year. They might. They have some talent, but it's not like they played a bona fide team, and they just didn't look like they were ready. They're dealing with some injuries, but Bryce Young just wasn't clicking. Fortunately, it kind of looked like the first half of the year Bryce Young last year. Second half, he looked great. So we were thinking, hey, is he going to continue to pick up where he left off last year? Because he was in rhythm, wasn't
mhm,
quite there. Cardinals have a above average defense, and it's at home. So I picked the Cardinals to win this game. They didn't look great either, but they never really look great in any of their games. It's always kind of messy, sloppy, but they pull it out, kind of wins. So
mhm.
I got the Cardinals confidence level of 7.
I went with Cardinals confidence level of 12. Um,
Okay.
I just feel like it's a long way for the Panthers to travel. Um,
That's fair.
I don't think week 1 went really well for him.
Hmm.
I just, yeah, I don't know. And also I was kind of surprised to see how things went for Bryce Young in week 1. I
Yeah.
didn't expect things to be that much of a struggle for him because he was another guy in 2 interceptions. I mean, like
Hmm.
I should have mentioned this on the Jaguars, but the Jaguars defense started off strong, and I was going to mention this, but they do have a couple of pass rushers. Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen are both good. Like let's say top 16, I think probably each at
Okay.
their relative sides. I mean, they both get about 10 sacks every year. So that's not bad. It's not
Hmm.
amazing. It's not
Hmm.
uh, like other defensive ends, but um, I mean, Bryce Young's gonna have to face Josh Sweat, and Josh Sweat is a
Hmm.
fairly good defensive end. So we'll see how it works out. I just feel like that the timing works out to good for the Cardinals. This is a good one for the Cardinals. I think
Hmm.
the Panthers are still gaining their footing. Chuba Hubbard also wasn't as good as I thought he was going to be. I felt like
Yeah.
he was okay, but I expected a little bit more in terms of his performance. I mean, 16 attempts, 57 yards. It's okay, but
Yeah.
it's not great. So, but yeah, I went with the Panther or with the Cardinals confidence level of 12.
Okay. That's totally fair. Totally fair. All right. Now we get to your game. Eagles at Kansas City. That's
Uh,
the only reason why that's going to be tough for you guys is it's at Kansas City. Um, so this is another one that I picked the team to win immediately because I figured, okay, I'm picking this team to win. And then I left the confidence level alone for a little bit till I got to it. And so I was looking at this game and I thought, okay, Jalen Carter is playing. They gave him his suspension as the game he got kicked out of. And he got a fine, which is that's understandable. And the Chiefs are probably still going to be without Xavier Worthy. I don't think he's put on IR or anything. I think he's like week to week or something like that. But I don't anticipate him playing either. And the Chiefs O line is better than last year, but it's still not like an elite unit. It's not going to be like a 40-6 like it was, or 40-8 like it was in the Super Bowl. This is going to be competitive, but I got the Eagles winning this game. I got a confidence level of 8 because I
okay.
just think that Jalen Carter coming back, he is going to be ticked off. He is going to want to wreck Patrick Mahomes. And without Xavier Worthy, without any receivers, I just don't know how the Chiefs do anything offensively, or at least enough offensively to beat the Eagles with their offense, which looked really good against the Cowboys at times. So I'm going Eagles confidence of 8.
I went with Eagles confidence of 2. And my struggle is that
Okay.
the logic that we talked about for the Ravens, I think applies to the Chiefs. They really can't start off 0-2. I think
Okay. Yeah.
I lean towards them starting off 0-2, but their mentality is we really can't start off 0-2.
Yeah.
Um, the part that's going to be tough is the Cowboys were able to exploit the Eagles because they had superior wide receiver talent. Go to the second string quarterback or to number two cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly just light them up, put them on hot routes where you're doing curls, slants, option reads where the receiver can go a
Mm-hmm.
little more in, maybe a little more of a seam. Um, I don't know who they have that's going to be able to do that because
Yep.
Rice and Worthy, even if Worthy's in, man, I hope he doesn't play. In fact, I really wish he would just get the surgery. I understand that that would not be great for his chances this year, but
Yeah.
you don't want to mess around with injuries that could potentially get even worse. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I just go back and forth on this. I went confidence level of 2, but it's tough because I can see the Eagles losing this one. I think the offense isn't
Mm-hmm.
the issue I have right now. It's just cornerback 2, man. Does Andy Reid,
Mm-hmm.
who is the master game planner, find a way to make the number 2 cornerback look silly? And they just
Mm-hmm.
constantly go to that every single time. Travis Kelce, I don't think is going to have as good of a game because we have Zach Bond and Campbell at
Yes,
linebacker.
absolutely. Linebackers
And
are gonna basically take him out. Yeah.
I think that that is a disappointment for the Chiefs because that's what you need is to be able
Mm-hmm.
to exploit. So I don't think that's going to happen. Defensive line of the Eagles is not as good, so I don't think they're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Maybe Jalen Carter comes out and plays as well as he can, so that way trying his best to make up for being gone the week before. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this was a tough one, man. Tough game. It's going to be a grinder. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a 3-point type win.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I just that cornerback two problem. Who's gonna beat your cornerback two? Hollywood Brown. Okay. Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay. It's it's almost like even. Your quarterback two
Yeah,
against like a Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster will win some reps. Your quarterback two will tackle him immediately for some reps. It's not like he's going against CD Lamb or George Pickens.
no,
He's going against Hollywood Brown or Juju Smith-Schuster or I forgot the rookie they drafted. Is it Thornton? I'm not sure, but yeah, that your weakness is not going to be exposed without the Chiefs receivers being healthy. So
yeah,
we shall see. But it's at Arrowhead is the only concern because that place is really hard to win at.
yes, yeah. Well said.
So next up we have my team, Sunday Night Football, Falcons at Vikings. So looking back at the Bears game, we only sacked Caleb Williams technically twice, but as far as because he stepped out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage once, but as far as tackling him, we sacked him once, but we pressured him 30 times against a good offensive line. And Caleb Williams just being so athletic, so nimble, so just slippery, avoided every single sack and ran a lot against us for first downs, touchdowns almost twice. I don't see that in Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. is a better distributor of the ball in his career right now as a passer, but he is not that mobile. He's got some athleticism. It's not like he's just a house back there, but he's not going to be avoiding all those sacks like Caleb Williams did. And the Bears' offensive line is better than the Falcons. The Falcons, I think, lost their right tackle or left tackle for the season at the beginning of the year. I forgot which one it was, but one of their tackles is gone. Their center, Drew Dahlman, is with the Bears right now. So their center is trying to learn this system a little bit. And also their second best offensive player, Drake London, hurt his shoulder. He's going to play, but is he going to be not 100%? I got the Vikings win this game at home. It's the homecoming game for Adam Thielen and for McCarthy. This crowd's going to be hyped. I think it's still going to be kind of messy to begin the game because he's still young quarterback. He's not really sure what he's doing just yet. But I don't see how the Falcons could win this game. I just don't see it. I got this as a confidence level of 12. The Vikings are the better team. Their defense should be able to hunt all day against Penix. And I was impressed with the run defense. DeAndre Swift's not nowhere on the level of Bijan Robinson, not at all. But he had no room to run. It's not like he got 4 yards and we tackled him and there was no like yards after contact. It's he ran up the middle for a yard and then we were there swarming him. Bijan, he'll be able to move the pile a little bit more than Swift, but not as good offensive line as the Bears do. So I don't think he's going to be able to get loose. He'll have some numbers. He might even score a
Mhm.
touchdown, but he's not going to destroy us. We should be able to contain him. And then Michael Penix Jr. He's probably going to hit the turf a few times. So I got the Vikings winning this. Confidence level of 12.
Yeah, I went Vikings confidence level 13. And I think everything you said, there's no reason to litigate more. I think that it's a good
Hmm.
matchup. I do think that Michael Penix showed some promise in week one. I felt like he had a
Yeah.
pretty solid game. Um, Kicker just couldn't make a kick to
Yeah.
um,
That was my upset pick of the week. Come on, Michael Penix Jr. Come on, Koo. Come on, guys. You had it.
I mean, but those are strong numbers though. I mean, 64%
Hmm.
completion, which is good. 298
Hmm.
passing yards, touchdown, 93.2 rating.
Yeah.
That's a good day. Um, in fact, by the way, fantasy note, I don't know why, but fantasy football is like down on Michael Penix. Most leagues that I have, he's like projected to get 12 points after that week one start. I mean,
That's
that is
wild.
that is low. I mean,
Uh-huh.
like if you can buy stock on Penix, give it a go. I
Hmm.
think he's going to be a better quarterback than people think.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, overall, pretty strong performing day. And yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, touchdown on the ground too. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I was really shocked by that, but yeah, clearly people are buying low on Penix right now. But I think he's going to be a good quarterback. And one thing I will say, I will make one more note on this for the Vikings. We'll probably disagree, but I was disappointed how O'Connell used Jones last Monday. I felt like he was like obsessed with up the middle runs and wheel routes. And those two things is like what Jones was doing the whole night. And I feel like Jones can do way more for an offense. Um, I think that O'Connell needs to get more creative for the run that he's trying to use. I would have loved some more off tackle runs, a zone read run, a toss
Hmm.
run. I just think that
Hmm.
Jones works better in space. I don't think he
Hmm.
works as good up the middle. And I think that's why you saw that he get touchdowns last year. But I feel like every time I watched Jones run last week, it was like that is not the run call I would have gone with. And I'd say the same thing for Swift for the Bears. I wouldn't have called those run calls. That is not where
Hmm.
Swift thrives. Swift thrives between the guard, tackle, or tight end. Get him outside, give him space to be
Hmm.
able to read the defense and find the holes to be able to get the yards that he can pick up. Um, but I mean, we've talked about the run game with O'Connell before. That is his shortcoming to me. That is
Absolutely.
it's his Achilles heel, and
Absolutely.
he has
Hmm.
got to figure it out because if it wasn't for JJ McCarthy, Vikings don't win that game. To me, I know he made mistakes, but he also willed that
Yeah.
team back into the game. And um, the Vikings will need a strong run game against the Falcons if they want to win. I predict they're going to win, but they need a strong run game. You have to counter that strong
And
run game with a strong run game.
and then to counter your point, so your Aaron Jones point is totally fair. Up the middle is not really his strong game, but Jordan Mason's it is. And
Agreed.
he looked great against the Bears,
Yeah.
especially in that third, fourth quarter. He was just wiggling around. He was avoiding tackles. He had like I think it was just either just under, just over 60 yards total rushing, which it felt like he had more because they're just so meaningful rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked great. So that's why they traded for him because, like you said, KOC doesn't really have that great mind for run schemes, but what he knows, Jordan Mason can do. So I think it's going to be not right away, but I think eventually Jordan Mason's going to be the main running back, and Aaron Jones is going to be the third down running back. Which, hey, that's their skill set in a way. Up the middle, Jordan Mason. Then on third down, let Aaron Jones block, get out in the pattern, boom, hit him for a little check down or a wheel route like we did on Monday, and that will be good. because Jordan Mason looked great. I love that pickup, and it just solidified it on Monday night's game.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the Vikings line has improved enough that I just feel like the running game should get more. It should not
Hmm.
be. I still feel like it's like it's just like watching someone doing something and they can do it, but it's a little awkward. Like
Mm-hmm.
I I don't think it has to be awkward. I think he's got a good enough line. I think that I don't know. To me, I love so much about KOC and the things he does. The kickoff return we talked about from Monday Night Football, but the run
Hmm.
game, man, he's got to figure out the run game. He's really got to
Yep.
figure it out. And um, Mason has potential. I like the signing. I just feel like if I could talk to KOC, I would say, hey, just because Jones doesn't do what you like doesn't mean that's his fault. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
Hmm.
And that's the part I come from is
Yep.
that you find a way to use Jones. If you're not using him and he's not getting the yards, it's because you're not using him the right way.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, we have two games left. There's a double header on Monday night. I don't like that honestly because they kind of coincide with each other sometimes, and I want to watch both games and I can't. So, but anyway,
Well,
um,
I think they changed it up this year, right? I think they have it staggered this time. I don't think that it's around the same time this.
well they tried, but you know that I think one's at 5, one's at 8. I think it is.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty
You
good, Andrew.
you know that that 5 o'clock game is going to not get over at 8. It's going to be the fourth quarter. It's going to be competitive, and you're not going to get to see the start of the other game because it's going to be fourth quarter. But I don't know. I just never really loved double headers on Monday night. I want
Hmm.
one game that you could focus on, but that's not my decision, obviously. So we have Buccaneers at Texans, the first Monday night game, and this is a game that both teams looked good in spurts, not good in spurts. The Texans probably should have won that game
Hmm.
against the Rams. They were in the red zone, and then they just had a bad fumble, and they just couldn't get the ball back. They lost 14-9, I think it was. So it was a good competitive game. The Rams D line just showed that CJ Stroud just didn't get the time he needed. The Buccaneers do have an improved pass rush. They do have an improved D line, but it's not the Rams D line. But to the flip side, Baker Mayfield is a much better quarterback than the current Matthew Stafford dinged up version. So this is going to be a really interesting game. I gave this a confidence level of 4 because I was thinking, man, this is going to be competitive. The Texans are 0-1, and this is their home. I think this is their home opener. I don't think they were at home in the first game.
Yeah,
And
I think you're right.
I don't know if they can climb out of an 0-2 hole like we've talked about with other two teams. Buccaneers, they kind of eked out that win. I know the Falcons are an improved team, but I wasn't like overly impressed with the Buccaneers. I was impressed with Ibuka. He looked awesome. He looked like the real deal. And I'm glad I got him on some fantasy teams. I don't think I got him in our league though. I was very sad. But I don't know. Maybe I'm silly, but I'm still believing in the Texans as a team. I got them winning, but confidence level of 4.
Okay, I went Buccaneers confidence level 14. Um,
Whoa, we're like opposite on the confidence level here.
yeah, I that Texans game it really disappointed me. Um, just poor management. And like the part that was interesting was I think it was 3rd and 8, and they had the Rams pin in week 1. Yes, thumbs up, Texans. But they gave up the first down. I know Puka Nacua is a good receiver, but like you just got to defend the sticks, and they didn't do
Hmm.
that. Like they went with a weird formation. Um,
Hmm.
to me, I was just surprised. It's 8 yards, so it's going to take a lot of work for that running back to get the first down. Like a lot has to go right to get 8 yards. They still went with a semi-stacked box formation, and then they let Puka Nacua sneak out the side to go for like a 30-yard burner. Um, it was just such horrible defensive game management. Maybe someone was in the wrong
Hmm.
spot. That's part of the problem. But the design of the play was deeply disappointing. Um, one of my favorite mentalities that I've ever seen when it comes to third down comes from Jim Schwartz, the current defense coordinator of the Browns. He used to be with the Eagles. but he literally just parks defenders on the first down marker. Literally just goes across. Cornerback here, safety, cornerback, and then slot somewhere in between there. And that to me is a very smart outlook. Just don't
Hmm.
give up the first down. Don't give up the first down. And they gave up the first down. It was very embarrassing. I mean, they had a chance to get the ball back to win the game and just so horribly executed. So I guess I'm just tying that in. I don't feel like that's Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles doesn't make those types of mistakes. And at some point, it's just hard because I feel like watching the Texans these past couple of years, D'Amico Ryans has so much talent. But dude, you got to win these close games. You have to win the close games.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling to remember a time right now where the Texans pull out the close ones. I don't remember it. I know the Bucks can do it. I know I've seen them do it, and I know they can continue to
Hmm.
do it. And by the way, Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdown performance, very solid performance against the Falcons. Got to
Hmm.
give him props.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the Buccaneers don't have like an imposing defensive line. Vita Vea, of course, he's good. Hassan Reddick, I don't think we really know what he's got left right now, but
Hmm.
I'm just not loving where the Texans are right now. So one with the Bucks might be crazy. And actually, I did miss it that Hassan Reddick did get 1 sack. I missed that during the game. So looks like he might still have some juice left.
Yeah. Well, it's still just one sack, but we'll see. And the way I looked at it as well is the Buccaneers barely eked out against a Falcons team that is okay. They are above average, and the Texans team should have beaten a good Rams team. And the Texans were on the road. I think the Buccaneers might have been on the road too. I'm not sure about that, but and I just don't know if the Texans can afford being 0-2. So and still, I I believe in the Texans defense, and I believe in C.J. Stroud. I don't believe in their O line at all. But I think their O line might be able to manage against the Buccaneers D line. They couldn't against the Rams D line, which is understandable. But I think they can do enough against the Bucks D line to eke out a win. I think the Bucks probably overall are the better team, like in all three facets. But Texans are at home and they need to win. So, but the last game we got is the Chargers at the Raiders. Ashton Genty, what can he do? He looked okay in week one against the Patriots. He didn't like crush it. He got a
Mm-hmm.
touchdown. But the Patriots, of course, probably tried their best to shut him down, which is what the Chargers will do. But man, the Chargers, I was impressed. The Chiefs, they were hanging around. They could have won that game if Chris Jones doesn't take a bad angle on that scramble and they get a third down stop. Who knows? Mahomes had a little time left. Who knows what would have happened? But didn't happen. Herbert got around the edge, did that little fancy, like, this is what I'm going to do slide, point to the crowd, looking all fancy like that. That was kind of funny. And the Raiders looked pretty good against the Patriots. They were impressive, but that was against the Patriots who aren't quite there yet. Geno Smith, who was dealing like he would do, him and Pete Carroll, they have that chemistry together. They know what they need. But the Chargers impressed me. I have the Chargers win this game. I have this as a confidence level of 13. I didn't believe in the Chargers beginning of the year, but seeing how they were passing the ball against the Chiefs, the run game will come. Run game wasn't great, but the Chiefs have a really good run defense. The run game will be there. But I was really impressed with Herbert and him wheeling and dealing out there. It looked great. Chargers defense looked pretty good as well. Not like phenomenal, but looked pretty good. The Chargers might be the real deal. I got this as a confidence level of 13.
Yeah, and I went with a confidence level of 15 for the Chargers. I just
Yeah.
so much surprised me, man. If here's the thing, if Quentin Johnston, if Lad McConkey, if Keenan Allen all have the type of games they had last Friday, it's going to be hard to stop. It's a very
Hmm.
I still can't believe how good Johnston looked. In fact, I still don't think he's getting enough credit. He's not getting enough credit for
Hmm.
how I mean, I would say he's like Nelson Aguilar, in the sense that he's never lived up to expectations. He's a first round pick. Things have never come together. Well, if we see this continue of what we saw last week, I don't see how you cannot pick the Chargers. I
Hmm.
don't know. And that's not to say that the Raiders are going to be a bad team. I think the Raiders are going to be a fine team, and I really do think
Yeah.
they are a 7-6 seeded playoff team right now. That's where I'm feeling like it's going to fit.
Hmm.
Um, we'll see if they do enough to be able to pull it off, but I just don't think they have enough juice to get this one. I think Pete Carroll and
Yeah.
Geno Smith, what they're going to do is they're going to get you the wins that are close. They're going to be the ones that get to do just enough to tip it in your favor to be able
Hmm.
to make the plays that you need to. But um, yeah, I mean, I just struggle to see that working out right now. But we'll see. Ashton Jetty's a great running back. I still think he's got things to learn, and also the Raiders got to get the whole offense going. I feel like the passing game got going more in the third quarter. They just,
Hmm.
I think, had more going on. The Brock Bowers injury, something to watch.
True.
Is this
Yep.
is it something that's just going to be, he's hurt, he's going to play through it and still be pretty good, or is he injured? Like, is he
Hmm.
legitimately banged up? So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think honestly, this whole week we're pretty close locks up, except that Texans game. There was a couple we picked differently, but it was close. But that Texans game, we're kind of opposite sides.
yeah, we
We'll
are
see how
we
that one goes.
well, but I'm fascinated with that one and the Jaguars one because
Yeah.
I want to make sure I got this right. Do we pick three games different total? Because we have, oh no, you picked the Commanders too, though, right?
Mm, yeah, I picked the Commander, so we have three. Yeah, but that one I have a confidence level of one. So,
Yeah, so the Jaguars, the Packers, um,
and then
the
the
Buccaneers.
Texans. Yep. I think that's all that we had different. Yeah, I think that's all we had different.
So very interesting, man. I'm excited for it. This is
Hmm.
going to be, this was tough. This one was really tough this week. I went back and forth on these
Hmm.
matchups for far
Yep.
too long. But yeah, I got to maintain my lead, Andrew.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That Texans game is either going to give you a big lead or I'm going to come right back. That's what's going to happen in that game because 4-14, not big of a jump. It's either I'm right there with you or you take a big jump ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I'm going to be really sad if I'm wrong on that Buccaneers game because I put a lot of points on the line for that one.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got for week two.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's my note. Do you mind if I made one other comment? This isn't
Yeah.
football related, but I know there's a lot of people that are affected by the news of what happened yesterday in Utah,
Oh.
um,
Hmm.
with the shooting that happened there, and um,
Hmm.
this podcast is devoted to football stuff, and that's the way I want to try to keep it. But I just want to say that my thoughts and prayers are with not just what happened there and with the family of Charlie Kirk, but also
Hmm.
there's been a lot of tragedies that have happened this year, and
Yeah.
um, you know I hope our better angels can come out of these situations so we can find ways to continue to remain united as Americans and to see each other
Hmm.
beyond our political stances. And um,
Yes.
you know, people are so much more than what they think, and we need to talk to each other more. We need to engage with each other and realize that
Hmm.
people have so much value. So that's just my way of
Hmm.
saying that. My thoughts and prayers are with those that are being affected
Hmm.
by the tragedies they're experiencing in their life. It's been a tough year. There's been a lot of things that have
Hmm.
happened, and I'm grateful for things like football that can allow us to pull away and still find the good and come
Hmm.
together with people. So just wanted to share that as a final thought.
Yeah, that's very well said. It was just such a tragic, sad thing that happened. Instead of having good conversations and being adults, things like that happen. It's a really, really difficult and sad time we're in right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll wish them the best of luck as they work through the criminal
Hmm.
process with figuring things out. And um, yeah, just grateful that we have things like football, man, and fantasy football to help
Yeah.
us to get through those times in our lives. And
Hmm.
we'll see how this week goes. I'm excited that Buccaneers game. I could be really sad next Monday, Andrew, and you could have a huge
Hmm.
reason to flaunt and gloat against me. And
Yeah, that's
reflection
going
of
to be
how
the turning
things went.
point because the rest of our picks are close enough where if the two ones that we have switch as far as picking the game, it's not going to really throw the numbers around much. But that one would. That one would. So it's
Yep.
going to be interesting.
Yep. All right, man. Well, this was fun. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining us this week in our week two picks with the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.